Alrighty, so I wanted to talk about the training cave a little bit because I know it's already been like a couple of weeks since we've gotten the second part of the training cave update, but honestly, I don't hate this training cave update. Like, I know that that's a little weird to say. I know that a lot of people don't really like it because it doesn't really add too much, but just the fact that you can skip through training cave makes it 10 times better to me, because training cave was so tedious, and you know, every 2 weeks you got a key for it, and you know, it was just a hassle to me. So I'm not really going to be going over like how to beat any of the missions or anything, because it's honestly kind of self-explanatory. Like you know, there was even like an information panel thing, like somebody made like an infographic that somebody made for like what teams you should use. But honestly, the big thing is you just need to have a lot of characters, and that's the biggest point. Training cave has always kind of been that way. You need to have a big roster, so that way you can, you know, actually, you know, use the characters that you need, because obviously you can see confirmed missions. I have been able to beat every single one of them. The only one that I actually had trouble with, it may actually be this one, actually. Just luck of the draw. It is not this one. It was the I'll try to remember if we get to it, but yeah, so the missions aren't that bad. Beating with a certain combat class or higher, pretty self-explanatory. Clear with only HP attribute heroes on the team. So it always wants you to use the type disadvantage of the characters, which I was a little thrown off guard by that. I don't know why, but I was assuming that you wouldn't have to deal with that. But that is one. Not honestly too bad. There's a lot of really good characters in the game now, so you know, most of the time a lot of the challenges are pretty easy in general, so you can just choose one character to sort of carry your team through it. Clear using ultimate moves less than 1 times. That's not honestly that bad, as long as you have like the character that you're using has strong like regular cards. Clear with a giant hero in the team. Just having a decent amount of heroes in your box is going to be able to, you know, clear this up. You can just throw some random giant that you've never even powered up in the back line of your team and still be able to get this done easy peasy, depending on, you know, what units you're using. The biggest ones for me particularly were like clearing with a certain amount of HP. This can be pretty difficult, and you might not even be able to get all of these all of these challenges done the first time that you do the training cave. I was able to get most of them done the first time, and then I had to wait until the second time around to get a couple of them done, because I had already used a lot of my other good characters at that point, and I needed more healers, or I had already used healers, or like I needed this character who could hit really hard, but I had already used them in my previous run or whatever. So it has a little bit to do, I guess, with luck of the draw on which of these you're pulling first. I want to say that this is the one. So if we enter this battle, I'm pretty sure that this is the fight that gave me so much trouble. Let me look at the missions for this one. Yeah. Okay, so this one gave me a ton of trouble, and I'm not even really sure why. I can't remember exactly what the deal was with it, but he has some pretty dumb stuff. Increases the hero's attack by 5% at the end of the ally's turn. So obviously the later in you go, it's going to be harder to do. Removes 1 debuff at the beginning of the turn. This actually is a pretty common theme. There's a lot of missions where they just remove debuffs and stuff like that, which I understand, but it can be very like annoying. He gets to use 2 more skills. Steals an ultimate move gauge orb is pretty annoying, because if I'm not mistaken, don't you have to use ultimate moves? Yeah, you have to use ultimate moves 3 times, which means that if you get ultimates too quickly, you'll kill him too fast and you won't be able to beat it. But as you go on, he gets stronger and stronger, which means that it's a weird balance between you're either getting it all done too quickly and you lose out on some of these because you've beat it too fast, or you go too long and he starts dealing a ton of damage and it's hard to keep your characters at the right HP. This one was the one that gave me by far the most trouble. Like I was literally stuck on this one for like 2+ hours. Like I literally just had it on my screen, trying it with different comps and different stuff over and over again for literal hours. Like it was so long. I don't know how long it actually was, but it was at least like several hours, which was just annoying me to no end. I have no words to explain how like absolutely awful that was, but that's kind of the thing. It's a little bit of a luck of the draw. If you can't, if you can't beat it, or you get, that particular mission really late in the game, you'll either just have to worry about it next time, or just try to do it with whatever you have at the moment. It is a little bit annoying, I have to say, that you don't get to skip the illusion amber, but I understand why, because you're actually fighting your own team here. But basically what I have done is, now that I've beaten a lot of the missions, I guess you could potentially, as you're going through and beating some of them, the next time you get one that you've already done, make sure that you change your team up a bit and like put some crappier units. They still have to be over a certain combat class to be able to skip ticket, but just make sure that you're changing that team up specifically, so that way you're not going up against harder enemies for 1 in the illusion amber stage, but for 2, make sure that you put a bunch of crappy units on there that still meet the CC requirement, so that way you can use some of your good units for some of the later ones that you don't have completed yet. So I noticed that because, after I had beat the challenges for the specific ones that I was doing the first time around, I still had a bunch of like type disadvantaged characters and stuff like that, and like the teams that I was using to complete those challenges and everything like that. And I'm pretty sure I still have a couple of teams like that, but I've tried to go back through and dull down some of my teams, because I was using like whatever I could use to complete some of these challenges. Like I was using festival units and this and that, and it got to the point to where some of the illusion ambers were pretty difficult for me to beat with the remaining units that I had left. But luckily, like in this situation, like I'm already at 156k. I could probably change out one of these red characters for, like, say Lilia, because she's not really that great. I don't even have her holy relic, so I can skip ticket this one easy peasy. Get rid of festival at the end, just so she's not annoying for my illusion amber stage, in case I get that team. But yeah, I don't know. I don't completely hate it. I know that one of the biggest problems is the level 4 stages really don't give you that great of loot, and I have to be honest, they really don't. It's a 29% chance to get a silver chest or a gold chest on the last one, which is okay, but honestly, like, the only thing I want out of the gold chest is the hammers. The only thing that I want out of the silver chest is the anvils, and I don't want any of this bronze box stuff. Like, I can just use gear gotcha to get most of that stuff, so I don't want to use like a weekly activity that I have limited runs in to get stuff that you can literally just get any time of the day. Like I think that's the biggest thing, is they're so used to putting crappy rewards in stuff that it just makes it really bad when you play it. Like, I mean, I understand that, the 5-star awakening stones are good because, they're for SSR gear, and that's what most people, upgrade with and everything, but getting those is completely disappointing compared to getting like anvils or hammers or anything that you can actually like use that's more limited that you actually want. It just, you drop a bronze box and you get 100 equipment, upgrade stones. Like, oh boy, like that is definitely by far the worst part about it, is it's just mind-numbing when you pull things that you can get anywhere. Like any day of the week you can pull some of these things, and it's so frustrating. Like, it really is. So I completely understand where people are coming from as far as like the rewards being kind of lackluster. I think that if they just got rid of the bad rewards and kept the good rewards, maybe they could up them some, stop being so stingy in that marble. That would help, obviously, but as far as I'm concerned, just being able to skip ticket this event, or like this like game mode, is so nice, because it was the most tedious thing that I've ever played in this game, and like sometimes I would dread it. Like every 2 weeks having to do this 2 times without skip tickets it's agonizing sometimes. So I was like, oh my god, the fact that you can skip ticket this now is absolutely fantastic. I'm so happy about that. But yeah, I don't know, that's pretty much all I have to say. I mean, I'm not gonna make you watch this entire run because there's not really any need to. But yeah, let me know your thoughts and opinions. I know, like I said, I know that I'm not doing like, hey, here's how to beat this mission, here's how to beat this mission, but it's really hard for me to do that because it literally comes down to who you have in your box, who do you have powered up. You know, it just depends on how much time and effort you've put into the game and your character specifically. So it's kind of a hard thing for me to just be like, oh, I'll just use this character, and then you're like, well, I don't have that character, or I don't have that character powered up, or, you know, I've not wasted materials on that character, or whatever the case may be. So it's kind of difficult in that situation. The best advice that I can give you is just literally go through it, get as many of them done as you can. The ones that you don't get done, make sure that the next time you go through, if you've already beat it, you know, put crappier units on that team specifically, so you can still skip ticket it, but you're not using up units that are actually useful for you beating some of the other missions. And just keep progressing through. You'll get it done eventually. It did take me just 2 runs, but then again, I literally have almost every unit in the game. I'm missing a couple, of course, and I've just been powering up a lot of units as well. So as much time as I spend on the game, it's not really that surprising that I was able to do it in such a short time. But, you know, it just depends. So that is pretty much it from me. Hopefully this was helpful or informative or something. I know somebody wanted me to talk about the training cave a little bit because they did revamp it, and I mean, I do think that it's a little bit revamped. I do like that you don't have to like run around and pick the crystals and stuff like that. It's definitely a lot more like time saving with it just being like a UI sort of thing. So I like that. I know that a lot of people were like, but it's not all bad. I mean, I'll try to take the good with it as much as I can, because I know that, you know, it's not always going to be like the best update you've ever seen, but kind of just is what it is. And I know they say that a lot, but that's pretty much it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Feel free to subscribe if you have not already, and I'll see you in the next one.